Good evening, Northern Nation. Welcome to Bostic Field for tonight's opening scrimmage. The Northern Polar Bears with the Boiling Springs Bubblers. I can tell you it's been a long time.
Everybody's pretty excited for tonight. We didn't know if we were going to get here or not.
It's also been a long time since I know the Northern football team has played Boiling Springs Bubblers. Both teams are doing their pre-game. Looks like Northern does what they always do. They'll finish with their punt team. Then I'm sure we'll get rolling. And usually the scrimmage will start with 10-on-10s, a couple series of that, and then we get into doing the down and distance part of the scrimmage. But as Mr. Anderson said, it's just a good thing to have people inside Bostic Stadium when you weren't sure this day was going to be.
Absolutely. Glad to see some kids back. Specifically Cruz and Mochin, who have had some injury problems. Good to see them out there warming up with the other kids to finally get a chance in their senior year.
Absolutely. You put it like Shea McNear, I think, has had 2 or 3 ACL surgeries in his career. So the opportunity they're going to get to be out on the field, be able to participate is just a good thing. So
I know those kids have worked their butts off in and out of the gym and on the field, and it's just great to have them back.
Sure. I was kidding Mochin. I saw him this summer. I said, I saw you more on 4 legs last year than I did too. It's good to see him back walking and getting around. But Blake Cruz had a whole year out to recover from another surgery. So
he had injuries 2 years in a row, so he was going down working 5 o'clock in the morning at Dreher in the weight room to get back. So it's nice to watch young men, not only their athletic talents, but to get the privilege to watch them overcome perseverance. And those two certainly have.
Yeah. It's like the coaches are working out the format they're going to use. My guess is Boiling Springs would come out with their younger kids on offense. We'd be on defense. We'll do our best we can with the Boiling Springs outfit. They happen not to have numbers. Just tell both teams are just excited to have the pads on. You know, football's been practicing all summer, but the official day was only a week ago. So from September 4th to the day for first scrimmage, I believe we take next Friday off, and then on the 25th of September, the Polar Bears will be over at East Pennsboro, which I have information that tells me East Pennsboro now has a turf field.
Oh, how about that?
To be the first people to play them on their turf field.
What a privilege and honor to play on East Penn's turf field.
Mr. Shirley said he was over one day for something and noticed that they had a new turf field. Looked really nice. So we'll get to help them break that in on the 25th.
Officials are coming out on the field, so looks like we're about ready to get started.
There's no running clock. There's no score kept at on the scoreboard we don't keep score, but everybody keeps score when you play a game. So we'll know at the end of the night who had more touchdowns, but know that most years there's a week of heat acclimation and then 2 weeks of camp, and then you get going. So what you're seeing tonight is 7 days of practice, getting ready for scrimmage 1. I think Northern will certainly rely on the fact they got a lot of experience on the offensive line. Bailey Blaszak back, Hunter Herzog, Hunter Fitterling, Josh Ford, Nick Feckety. Obviously Jordan Heisey has got a lot of time as a sophomore, started all those games last year. So all that experience is going to come back to Nose since they didn't get near as much live practice. Not sure if anybody caught the BYU Navy game on the other night, but they said Navy had not done live drills at all, no live tackling, and Navy lost 55-3. So maybe going back this week and get some live tackling and live drills.
Unfortunately, our boys have gotten out and got some work in, so we're not anticipating such a result tonight. We do have a lot of starters back, so like Mr. Reeder said, there's some veterans out there on the field. Probably the biggest issue that we're going to have is how the tailback rotation is going to go. Obviously, We had a large part of our offense graduate last year, Kyle Schwartz, but I think there's a number of guys that are going to step up and take over at that position.
Most places, when you lose somebody like that, you say you replace one person by committee, so I'm sure the backs we have will certainly be able to come up. So here we go. Looks like Bowling Springs coming out on offense. Maybe we didn't practice to know we need 11 guys out there on defense. Yeah, that was going to be, there we go.
All right, guys, we're getting ready for some football. Finally.
That was going to, maybe next week we were going to practice on our defense, but here we go. Bowling Springs on offense. We'll do probably a series of 10 on offense for them. Then our young guys will get a series of 10 on offense. So they're under the ball. Here we go. As everybody knows now, oh my God, the quarterback's under center. I haven't seen that in a long time. Back out in the flats, incomplete. Looks like the Bubblers are in their traditional wing tee offense. Bowling Springs coach Zell was a longtime assistant under Tim Rimple at Cumberland Valley, where that's all they know how to do. Cumberland Valley's run that wing tee.
Some things
so
never change.
Here we go. Still in their wing tee setup. Simple dive.
Looks like there's no gain on the play. Maybe a loss of 1.
65.
65 on the tackle.
Wyatt Hazen on that tackle for the Polar Bears. This is going to be play 8 for the Bubblers. They had an announcer a long time ago. That's how the only way we knew how to say it was the Bubblers, and it's stuck with me ever since. Nicknames the Bubblers, you're going to hear all kind of things about the Bubblers. The traditional play in the wing tee would be the buck sweep around the right side.
So it's about a pickup of about 7.
That would be my boy Shea McNair on that tackle. Good to have Shea back.
It's the first positive play for the Bubblers.
Looks like play 7 for them from their 40-yard line. You run the wing tee, you're going to run that buck sweep more than you probably run anything else. Sometimes they come back with that trap, sometimes counter crisscross.
Still in the hole.
Nice job on defense, simple dive play. Wyatt Hazen again.
Hazen did a great job of filling the hole. Got penetration. No gain.
Play 5 for the Bubblers. Northern substitutes in some of their secondary. Getting everybody experience before we get rolling. Buck sweep the other way. He takes, they got a flag on the play. I bet out there that might be a hold.
If the play stands, it's a pickup of 10, but it looks like this one is definitely coming back. It's a great opportunity in these scrimmages for coaches to get to coach your guys up on the field and interact with them.
Looks like that was a hold. I mean, you get outside the tackle a lot of times. That's something that comes into play. So they're back at their 40. This should be play 6 for them. A little waggle action.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, I'm not sure. Thought that could have been a fumble behind him, but lost control of it there.
Looks like a quarterback the ball just slipped out of his hands when he went back to throw.
Play 7 for the Bubblers. One from the left hash. Not Not sure I got over there when they threw the pass from the right hash. Penalty. Looks like a false start on the Bubblers. I don't think they're going to count that as play 7. They'll still let them run their play.
Officials getting some early work. 2 flags. They're excited to be back too.
Still in that wing T formation. Dylan Baum, one of the tackles for the Polar Bears.
Just about a pickup of 5.
This will be play 8 for the Bubblers. They're about their 45-yard line. What, the linebackers for the Polar Bears not afraid to step up in the hole? There's that trap.
Wow. That's a no-go.
Wyatt Hazen again. Reese Sanchez.
These young Polar Bears are holding firm, pretty stout defense. Young guys look good so far.
Looks like quarterback's back to pass. Throws in the flats. Incomplete. Kyle Lamb on the coverage for the Polar Bears. This should be play 10 for the Bubblers. 45-yard line of theirs. Sure the offense for the Polar Bears will be starting out when this play is over. Look how the players are socially distant on the sideline. One thing different this year, if you ever kept track, that the 30-yard lines were the end. They've now extended the sidelines for the team so they can maintain their social distance. Go the whole way down to about the 15, 10-yard line. Puck sweep. It's like Andrew Hackett. Good to have him and his brother Devin back. Just re-enroll right before we got started. So now, Polar Bears will go on offense.
Say that's a good start to things. Throughout the 10 plays, say the Bubblers picked up, what, 25 yards?
2 penalties.
2 penalties. A couple tackles for loss. Say it's a good start. One of the things I missed, Dale, is the sunsets at Bostic Stadium.
Yep.
Right about this time. If you've ever been out to Bostic, or if you've ever not been out to Bostic, the sun sets right behind the mountains. About a half an hour into the game. That's a good feeling.
And we're going to get through the night without any of those fireworks to set off. Looks like Timmy Bonin will be under center for the Polar Bears. Looks like Tate McNair on the carry.
Got a pickup of 1.
Somebody in yellow from Bowling Springs made that tackle. They have no numbers. Understand some of these juniors didn't get a lot of game action last year because we didn't run a JV schedule. Sophomores played on a pretty competitive freshman team, so.
Nice things are, numbers are way up this year, the sideline. There's a lot more people on it than they did last year, so.
They can go 10 to 20 with the social distance. It's like Glenn Sadler on that carry for the Polar Bears.
Maybe a pickup of 1.
Coming up on play 3 for the Polar Bears.
You can just see the varsity down on the sideline. They are ready to go.
You're thinking, why did we start? Why didn't we get this started? Timmy Bonin back to pass.
Oh, what a nice play.
Complete to Cole Lamb. Down to about the Bowling Springs 40-yard line.
That's good pickup of 30 yards.
I've been around Northern football a long time. I can count on one hand how many left-handed quarterbacks. So see Timmy back here slinging that thing left-handed. Kind of interesting to watch.
He zipped that thing in there, put it right on the numbers.
Play 4 for the Polar Bears. Tate McNair around the right end. Nice pickup.
Got some momentum going.
Play 5 Polar Bears. About the Boiling Springs 21-yard line. Right hash. Do something back to the wide side the other way. Looks like now Lane Hose will be under center for the Polar Bears.
Timmy looked pretty good.
Timmy Bond and Lane Hose, both baseball players, they can sling it. Joel McClintock on the carry for the Polar Bears.
Out the middle, pick up a 2 or 3.
Coming up on play 7. Bears in the I formation. Twins to the left.
Oh, big hole.
Joel McClintock in for the Polar Bear touchdown. I'll tell you what, nicely designed, nicely blocked, all around good execution.
That hole opened up wide. I think Reeder may have even been able to run through that hole. Would have taken him a while, but he could have gotten through it.
Wow, we didn't get long into that we had a Reeder comment already. Not long into it. Looks like Mason Yon to attempt a point after touchdown. Point after is good.
Well, that was a very encouraging first set.
I'll tell you right now, they say in sports the best thing about sophomores, they're no longer a freshman, but boy, the experience Mason Young got last year as a freshman is only going to make that better and better.
Absolutely. If you follow Northern football online, you see that Mason has been working hard all summer and continues to improve.
In a typical 10-on-10 setup, they're going to let the Polar Bears probably run a couple more plays to get their 10 in, even though they scored a touchdown. So all the work they can get.
We got 2 more.
Yeah, I think it's play 9. It's like Lane Hose still under center for the Polar Bears. Lane Hose back to pass.
Uh-oh.
Picked off by the linebacker for the Bubblers. Could have been a pick 6 in real time. He was just sitting out there in the flats. The Polar Bears will get one more play of this 10-and-10. Looks like Joel McClintock, who scored the Polar Bear touchdown on that carry. Maybe we'll get one more.
Coaches are getting the defense ready. And these
I don't
boys,
think it's going to take much to tell these kids to get ready. They've been waiting for a long time to get this opportunity.
yeah, they are itching. Some of them are almost stepped out on the field already. They don't want to wait.
Yeah, they've sort of lost their social distance now, and they're ready to get at it. Last play, I think, for the Polar Bears. Lane Hose under center, moving his fullback to an offset eye. Toss to Joe McClintock.
Well, that's a nice run to finish up the set.
Tell you what, we had no trouble getting outside. Nice carries, nice blocking. Now it's real. Here we go. Nice job. Nice job, both the teams and the younger kids getting a start in this thing, but looks like we're going with the first unit. So Bowling Springs will be on offense from the scoreboard end going towards the highway. I'm not sure what they're doing.
Yeah, we kind of a mix of the first unit and the.
Well, I'm not sure they know which side that we should do. All right.
Okay, here we go. Now
Yeah.
we're getting it together.
Now we're on this side because they're going to go from the scoreboard end towards the highway.
Look like a little confusion out there.
Yeah, you would think they hadn't talked about that before. When they said first unit get ready, that didn't take much to get them ready. Here they go. Looks like a mixture of some of the kids were in the first time and some new ones they've added in. Here comes Boiling Springs for their first play of the 10 and 10. Still in that wing T setup. Gonna run a buck sweep to the left. Looks like Town Lucio. Kate Kitts on the tackle.
Let's think about a pickup of 4.
A lot of the wing T teams like to stretch the field, and they'll come back with that trap or that counter crisscross once they have you spread out. Play 2 for the Bubblers. It's just a false alarm that the older kids were coming in. They're still chomping at the bit down there. We're back to pass.
Oh, looks like it's picked off.
Mason Yon. He's more than just a kicker.
Barely, but he is more than just a kicker.
Wow, that was nice. Nice coverage, nice interception. I guess it'll be play 3.
That coverage was really tight.
In the 10 and 10 setup, usually a turnover does not give it back to the team that intercepted. They run their 10 and 10. So this will be play 3 for the Bubblers.
I think that false alarm made the varsity a little more jumpy.
You don't tell somebody they're waiting 6 months it's their turn when it's not their turn. It's like Devin Hackert. Again, we said Devin and his brother Andrew re-enrolled just recently. It's good to have them back. The lesson you learn there is don't ever leave the Polar Bears because we know you're coming back. Play 4 for the Bubblers. Looks like the Bubblers might be in the shotgun now.
It's not a formation you see out of them very often. Oh, very nice catch.
Pop pass.
Looked like a one-hander.
Lane Hose on the tackle. Kate Kitts also there.
Looks like we have a pull bubbler down. Looks like he's okay walking it off.
Looks like play 5 will be from the 50-yard line. I can tell you all the years I public address announcing, you always want to say the Boiling Springs side or the northern side. When you get to the 50, you don't know what to call it, so you just call it midfield.
That's glad you thought of that, Mr. Reader.
It's early. I'm in preseason form too. The ace formation with one back. Oh, quarterback keep. That was called. That was called. C.J. Wagner on that tackle.
I like watching CJ play. It's all heart. He's not afraid to stick his nose in it, regardless of size comparison. How he will get in there and mix it up.
Absolutely. I've always said if C.J. Wagner's 5'8", then his heart's 5'8", so he is a gamer. Still in the shotgun formation. Motion cross quarterback. Little scissor play. Josh Myers on that tackle.
These young kids look really good on D.
My Northern Education's working tonight. This should be play 8. We'll find out.
It's a privilege to sit up here with Mr. Reader on this fine evening.
Yeah, for me, usually you're out there making fun of me. I'm glad you're up here making fun. It's much better. Still in the shotgun formation. Motion across center. Fly down the middle, incomplete. We're thinking this might be play 9.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, I think, up here and down there when we're going on offense, defense, who's coming in. So hopefully we'll move this along.
It's just nice to see both teams have the rhythm they do. It's been a lot of off-season workouts. Buck sweep to the right. Nice hit in there. Alan Beluccio.
Solid hit.
This is play 9 coming up, like I said before.
At Northern Education kicking in there again, Mr. Reader. There's 2 9s. There could be 2 9s.
I think they're counting by 3s. Now we're back to the Boiling Springs wing tee. Be surprised they don't come back without killing a crisscross. Watch that wingman. Oh, trap.
And snuffed out.
Devin Hackert had no time for that trap. He was all about it. Down linemen are usually taught to follow the guard, and he followed the guard right into the guy carrying the ball. That's always a good defensive strategy. Rumor has it this is play 10.
Hope it is. Mr. Reader's out of fingers, so this better be 10.
We're getting paid by the play. They can keep playing as long as they want. Shotgun formation. He's got twins to the left. He's got his wing. He got one in motion. Oh no. Oh no. There's the old scissors play. Zach Beam on that tackle. I believe we can safely say that was play 10. Here we go, Northern back on offense. Going to be from their 35-yard line. Looks like Lane Hose will be under center.
Last time these guys were out, they were very effective moving the ball. See if they can keep it up.
Boy, Tate McNair. That's Shea McNair. That's Shea McNair on that carry.
Another one of our guys that has struggled through some injuries, worked hard to get back.
You see the word perseverance, you think of Shea McNair, you think of Zach Mochin, you think of Blake Cruz. Not really sure how to spell it, but I know what perseverance means. We're on play 2 for the Polar Bears.
I'll help you out later. Season goes on, I'll get a little pocket dictionary up here for you.
Kane Host still under center.
Nice
Hands
hit.
off to Glenn Sadler. Nice tackle by the Bubblers. Tell you what, the linebackers on both teams certainly filling the hole. What do you think is going through Zach Mochin's mind right now? He got hurt Middletown, I think it was week 2 last year.
He's running up and down the sideline, getting ready.
Ready to go.
He has got an all business face on right now.
Play 3 for the Polar Bears. Lane Hose back to pass. Pass caught out on the sidelines by John Null.
It's a nice pickup.
Yeah.
Ball's almost in the grass.
You can tell they've been practicing that routine together. You always like when the ball's there, when the receiver turns around. Nice timing. Should be play 4 for the Polar Bears. Operative word being should be play 4. We're about our own 47-yard line. Joe McClintock on the carry for the Polar Bears.
Seems to be a lot of nice holes on that right side. They are opening up gaps.
Takes it to the Boiling Springs 47-yard line. Lane Hose still under center for the Polar Bears. Shea McNair at the fullback. Josh McClintock at the tailback. Lane Hose back to pass.
Oh! Who's put that one on the money? That would have been a big gainer.
Diggs off. I think Diggs was ready to take off that one before it got in the hands. Again, early in the season. They might have only run that a couple times in practice. We're going to get better. Tim Bonin under center for the Polar Bears. Shea McNair on the carry.
Some nice little moves in the hole. Picking up about 7.
I believe this will be play 8 for the Polar Bears. Shea McNair on the carry.
Play 9, right? Shorts play 9.
Right on it.
I think Coach Burrell is
Right on it.
keeping the numbers down there. That might be part of some of the confusion.
He does have that Clarion and Westbury education. No promises there. About the Boiling Springs 38-yard line. Timmy Bonin back to pass. Airs one out. Looks like intended for Andrew Gingrich, incomplete. Nice pass, nice pattern, nice coverage by the Bubblers.
Bonin's got a good arm on him. That was a pretty ball.
Hand off to Shea McNair. Tackled right away. Like I said before, this will be play 10.
I got an extra calculator in my room. I'll bring it for Coach Burrell throughout the season, so we won't have this issue. Hope he's not counting players on the field.
A few times in my life, I have no comment. Play 10, Timmy Bonin under center. We got a Twins lookout here for the Polar Bears. Bonin back to pass.
Oh, there we go.
Complete to Diggs for a touchdown.
That's what we're talking about.
Tell you what, everything there worked like it's supposed to work. Nice protection, nice drop back, nice pass, nice catch. Just like they drew it up. Looks like Mason Yon has got to get his kicking tee. Last year, I don't think he had a lot of time on the field. He was ready to come out there when it was score time, but now he's got to come get his tee, get set up.
You'd think they'd have somebody get that poor kid his tee for him when he's on the field.
If he was anything, he'd carry that tee with him at all times. Mason Yon to attempt a point after touchdown. Looks like the point after is good. As advertised earlier, I think it might be time for the big boys. I'm sure Bowling Springs will go on offense for their 10-10.
That's what it looks like.
Everybody now thinking this is what we did in the off season. This is why we work in the off season. This is why we live. This is why we run. This is why we show up here. It's now game time.
You can't help but feel happy for these kids right now.
A little trap for the Bubblers. Might have been Zach Mochin in on the tackle.
Maybe a pickup of one. They didn't get too far.
Keep an eye on those linebackers, boy, they're filling. That trap might have some difficulty when those linebackers step in that A gap. Might not get too far. Bubblers in their wing tee setup. A little waggle action. Pass complete. Oh.
I think he bobbled it a little bit, and when he hit him, ball went to the ground.
Diggs on the coverage for the Polar Bears. Looks like they did not give him the catch. As a Steeler fan, I remember that playoff game that year. They didn't give Jesse James that catch.
Oh my gosh, let it go.
Still
let it go.
Sits in my crawl. Got to bring that into completion. That's should be play 3 for the Bubblers. It's like a little scissors action. They're not afraid to make contact. Blake Cruz in on that tackle. The last time Blake Cruz probably had his shoulder pad hit somebody else's shoulder pad. Good stuff. Play 4. I think I just said play 4. I think the refs actually are watching and they know they're going off my play count. Toss left.
Ooh,
Whoa.
big hit by Zach Mochin.
Wow. Since game 2 of last year for that. Looks like there might be a little block in the back out here on this end. Gotta be careful outside those hashes whether you're allowed to hit in the back or not. Play 5. The only bad part about running outside is you're susceptible to hold, susceptible for the block in the back. Boiling Springs on the ball. Ooh, we got motion to the back, carrying the ball. Dave Blaszak had no time for that one.
That was really nice. Babe Blaszak came off that block, shred his guy. Looked like he was out of the play immediately, but still made the tackle. Very nice play.
It's always interesting in these opening scrimmages because every other game you've watched 2 weeks of films, you've watched all of their tendencies. Scrimmages, it's just out there and you react to what they do. And that was played very well. That's what happens when they get out of that wing T formation. It gets a little discombobulated. Back to the Buck sweep. Motion again.
Boy, Mochin looks good.
Good in pads. Play 7. Say both teams on defense really flowing well with the ball.
Read it to him because he can't read. Anybody? Yeah, you did. Oh, you did.
Keep an eye on that wing back. Something tells me he's coming back here soon for something. Not this time. Oh, ball on the ground. Ball on the ground. It's like Trenton Peach. Welcome to the Polar Bears, Trenton Peach. Trenton on that fumble recovery, but as we've said before, the Bowling Springs will get to run a few more plays to finish their 10-10. Trenton Peach is new to the Polar Bears, but word on the street is he's a welcome addition, both in the building and on the field.
He has assimilated very well on the team and in the high school. One of the
Did you
things
use assimilated because I said discombobulated?
Seriously. You don't know what discombobulated means. You looked that one up right before you walked
Friends
in
of
the
yours,
booth.
I know all about discombobulated. So a little shotgun action here for the Bubblers. Motion across. Oh, you can't do that. I think there's probably going to be a little shift. Somebody moving while the guy was in motion.
There's Trent Peach and other kids on this team. One thing that's really nice, Dale, is these are a lot of nice young men on this football team.
Yeah,
Some of our football team leaders are leaders in our hallways.
Absolutely.
Good examples.
I've told people a long time, all these kids out here are easy to root for. Fumbled snap by the quarterback, and they're going to blow the whistle because it's not even week 1 yet. A lot of times the quarterback wears a different color jersey so they don't get hit, but he actually has the same color on everybody else does.
Looks like they're still trying to protect the quarterbacks in
Yeah.
some of the earlier series.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times you start on a Monday practice, you have a scrimmage that Saturday. These guys started last Friday and they practice this week and they're at it right now, so they're only going to get better. Quarterback back to pass out in the flats. Looks like Joe Kostelak on the tackle.
I think that would have been in a regular week, Dale. That would have been a Babe Blaszak big hit and sack.
I actually thought Kostelak had that thing lined up to be maybe a pick 6. I guess it's going to be play 10 for the Bubblers.
Blaszak had a great year last year.
See, different number this year. 55 the first couple, now at 44. Just like those double numbers. 55, 44.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Gotcha. Play 10 for the Bubblers, back in their wing T formation. Ooh, motion by the wing. Here we go. Ooh.
I was gonna say he didn't hold up on the quarterback that time, but he dropped him. He dropped him softly. He let him down.
My boy
nice.
Feckety, Nick Feckety on that. Nick's thinking he probably just had him zeroed in there. I believe the Polar Bears will go on offense.
Here we go. Jordan Heisey's the first one out on the field. He is ready to go. You don't know which direction they're going, but he's out there ready to go.
A I would just recommend anybody in purple and white just get where Jordan is and don't take it where you need to be. Jordan Heisey, again, not so sure when we've had a player got as much time he did as a sophomore. Took about every snap last year, so year 3 of Jordan Heisey under center for the Polar Bears.
Another young man it's easy to root for.
So Blake Cruz at fullback, C.J. Wagner at tailback. C.J. Wagner on the carry. Brought down by somebody in yellow.
Looks like it's about a pickup of 2.
Play 2. C.J. Wagner again on the carry.
Big hole.
Play 3 for the Polar Bears.
There's Sean Sarley in it. Fullback down. Looks like it.
Quick pass out to Tyler Weary.
Nice little pickup. Safe throw. Get Jordan in a rhythm.
Play 4 for the Polar Bears. You got to think that old Jordan and Tyler have done that a few times.
Tyler was a great addition to this team last year. Basketball player. Came out for football for the first time last year at Northern.
Jordan back on a short drop. Out in the flat. Intended for Bean. Jordan may have had his adrenaline rolling on that one. Just so neat to watch the confidence he now has. He's probably seen everything that anybody can throw at him. He's been under the Coach Miller system for a long time. And it goes without saying how this coaching staff has been together for a long time, and it's certainly helping the continuity. Players know what to expect, coaches know what to expect, so kudos to the coaching staff. So a quick handoff. Took my boy Blake Cruz. Sure, when they said in the huddle that Blake was getting the ball, his eyes probably got as big as saucers.
Blake's also a great lacrosse player, just a great athlete all around. A lot of these guys on this team are multi-sport athletes.
Looks like a little shotgun. Both running backs offset and Jordan. Boop. No motion on the Polar Bears. They make them wait that long, then they make them wait on the sidelines. No wonder they jumped off.
Yeah.
It's like their engines are revving.
That referee looked so happy to throw that little yellow flag. Big smile.
Talon Blucio around the right side for the Polar Bears.
That was a nice job getting outside. Looked like he was going to get caught in the backfield there for a minute.
Talon's a sophomore. Getting a little first time at the big time action. I'm going to predict this might be play 7. So Jordan's back under center in the I formation. Quick 2-step drop.
Ooh.
Little tight end pop to Bay Blashak, incomplete. There is flags again. If I'm keeping track, I think this guy's the only one who threw flag. Nobody else thrown a flag yet.
I think so. I told you he's enjoying himself.
He must have been really chomping at the bit to get out of here. I think they're going to say that somebody was covered by the tight end. That's a no-no. Under center is Jordan Heisey. shame in there.
23. 22.
Is it?
I think it's 22. Is there a 22?
Yes.
10.
Blue Shield. I mean, they're getting double duty out of it.
They're already, you can see they're already rotating that tailback position.
By committee. Jordan under center in the I formation. Little toss out here. C.J. Wagner to the left side.
Big collision there. I think C.J. delivered the worst of that.
The ball carrier delivers the blow. That's a good sign, but I got to think there's young men might be sore tomorrow because it's been a long time since they've had pad on pad. I guess it's going to be play 10. I never saw the fullback be that tight. Jordan back about a 5-step drop. Airing it out.
Wide open. Oh! A little bit of an overthrow there, but Trem probably could have kept one running after. It looked like a pretty nicely thrown ball.
That was a good ball.
I think he could have caught.
Yeah, they may not have had much time together, so they'll work on that. But boy, does Jordan got a strong arm. He got a lot of weapons to get to.
Trent keeps running after that one. That's 6 right in stride.
Just kidding, Jordan. This week he got a little bit of that Lawrence look from Clemson. He got the hair out. He's ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Coach Blyler, very successful wide receiver, is in his own right, helping Trenton, coaching him up.
If he's going to start telling me how he would have done it, he's going to be there a while. This might, I don't know, I just feel like the chains might have come out. We might be doing some game situation. Here we go. The chains are out. We're going to go game situation. 10 and 10 gets you warmed up when there's something about those chains that make football players start salivating. They like those chains. We'll get some 10 and 10.
Northern's very dependable chain crew is on the field.
I just got to say this. Andy Sheffer, I hope you're watching this because, boy, we could use a little band song right now.
We could.
Because the other option is Anderson singing, so we really, really want that band to get going.
Halftime show.
Where is the band? We want to hear that play. Fight on stage. Fight on stage.
I got a stage and some backup singers.
Student section would be needed here right now. We're going to act like everybody's here. The band's playing. The student section's here. Don't know what the theme was for tonight. They don't get to do their little Splatterfest. That's going to be an ugly scene. So, Bubblers will go on offense, 1st and 10 from their 30-yard line. Looks like they're in their wing T formation. They don't come out of that a lot. Little waggle to the left. Zach Beam on the tackle. Looks that pass out in the flats was good enough for a Bowling Springs 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Bubblers.
That was well executed.
40-yard line.
That was well executed. Beam had nice tight coverage.
I almost think they were duping us in that 10 and 10. They knew what they were going to do. They can pull. They call that hustling. 1st and 10 Bubblers from their 40-yard line. Another single with the wing in the slot. Looks like the slot's in motion. A little trap action.
Looks like it's about a pickup of 2.5 or 3.
Sean Sarley on the tackle for the Polar Bears. About a 2nd and 7 from the Bubbler 42-yard line. Back in the wing T set. Buck sweep this way.
Oh! Big hit.
Mochin.
Mr. Mochin. Let me introduce myself.
Isn't there a song like that? Let me introduce myself. 3rd and 10. Maybe, yeah, 3rd and 10 for the Bubblers from their 40-yard line.
Mochin is flying around the field on defense.
Somebody's going to have to account for that he missed some time last year. He's ready to go. Back to pass. He's going to pull it down and take it himself.
Oh! Another big hit. Oh!
Here we go. Here we go. That's going to take some getting used to. The quarterback's really not live, even though he runs out there like he's live.
He was live that time.
For a little bit, he was live. I'm sure the flag on the plays to be about the fact that we hit after the whistle. Yeah. I want to see one of our coaches say, Zach, you've got to tone it down a little bit. Good luck on that one. Oh, they're going to march it off.
Oof.
A 15-yarder.
On a regular game night, that's a nice hit. Not tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you coach that. Hey, Zach, that was a good hit, but not tonight. Bubblers will have it 1st and 10 from the Polar Bear 39-yard line. Leading T formation. Sometime they're coming back with that wing. I'm just telling you. Not this one. Trap.
There are some pads cracking on every single one of these plays.
Hunter Fetterlein on that tackle.
The kids from Boiling Springs and the kids from Northern.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that they had all that time off. Those pads are cracking. Another trap. So the fullback bounces out. Dave Blashak takes care of that.
How many laps do you think those crack security guards of ours have done so far?
Well, I tell you what, there's more security guards on that side than there are fans, so they got that one well under control. Looks like about 3rd and 6 for the Bubblers. From the Polar Bear 36-yard line. I'm so glad we're game situation. I don't have to keep track of 10 and 10. I was struggling with that a little bit.
He was struggling. He's about to take his shoes off and use his toes.
Toss to the right for the Bubblers. It's like Kostelek and Diggs on the tackle for the Polar Bears. That was good enough for a Bubbler 1st down. 1st and 10 Bubblers from the Polar Bear 28-yard line. Nice thing, when I screwed up as a public address announcer, everybody in the stadium looked up here. Here, there's only people in the viewing audience will look up here.
I'm sure there's people out there making fun of you.
Well, that's a given. It's like the wing in motion, little wing sweep to the left. Looks like Zach Mochin on the tackle. About a 5, 2nd and 5 for the Bubblers.
Bubblers are moving the
23-yard line.
Bubblers are moving the ball pretty well in this set.
Yeah, I'm not sure we spent a lot of time last week getting ready for the wing tee. Single back this time. We got a wing and a slot. It's like the slot's in motion. Trap. Bring up a 3rd down for the Bubblers.
All right, here comes Big Fred. Good to see him back in pads.
Maybe a 3rd and 4 for the Bubblers. 22-yard line. I might just go out on a limb and guess the Bubblers are in 4-down territory.
Viewing audience, you should feel honored to have Mr. Reader making those kinds of evaluations.
Oh, there he goes in motion. Quarterback back to pass. Touchdown for the Bubblers. I'll tell you what, that was well done.
Yes, it was. Hit him in stride again.
Nice
Zach,
roll, nice pass.
Zach Beam had pretty tight coverage.
Nice coverage. That play was executed very well. Bubblers will attempt the point after touchdown. Point after touchdown is good. Polar Bears will come back out on offense. Yeah, some of the times you're not sure how you go back as a coach and give a suggestion how to correct that. Zach Beam had nice coverage, just a really nice pass, nice catch. Polar Bears will go on offense from their 30-yard line. Something tells me we might get a little deeper in our playbook this time.
Heisey getting some final instructions. Coach Miller. We are ready to roll.
I think the whole offensive line's back. There are a couple of 2-year, 3-year starters on there. That's always a bonus. Jordan under center. CJ with a little step out and then take it up the gut.
Yeah, we do have 4 returning starters. Bear moved on.
Looks like a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 for the Polar Bears. Their 31-yard line.
I think the offensive line has to be a strength of this year's Bears team.
Quarterback and the running backs will be appreciative of that. Couple step drop for Jordan. Slant over the middle to Mason Yon, incomplete. Looks like it was tipped. 3rd and 9 for the Polar Bears from their 31-yard line. Coach Miller looks at that playbook, thinking about everything in his playbook he could throw out there, because Jordan will be able to handle it. Jordan looks like a little roll to the right.
That's it.
Complete, Andrew Gingrich, but there is a flag on the play.
That was nicely done, too.
Again, they might say we had somebody covering. Oh no, holding against the Polar Bears.
That's that same referee. That guy's in mid-season form.
Well, I looked around. I'm not sure any ref. None of the other guys have flags on their pocket. He's the only one who brought one tonight. They're like, oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot to bring my flag. This guy brought his flag.
Yeah, he's got. I think he's got more than one.
Whew. Tell you what, though, nice rollout, nice pattern by Gingrich.
Yes, it was.
They get back to about the 12-yard line?
It is
17-yard line.
3rd down and a long, long, long way.
So I think you're saying that's a long way?
It's long.
Jordan back to pass. He's
Got him
out here.
Oh, nicely done.
That will be good enough for a Polar Bear 1st down.
What a nice throw and catch. Nice move by Weary after he called it.
Izzy to Weary. Down to, looks like about the 47-yard line.
47.
1st and 10, Polar Bears from the Boiling Springs 47-yard line.
Just over, what'd you call it? Midfield, right?
Yeah.
Midfield.
That's what
okay,
they, yeah,
good.
if it's 100 yards and 50 would be called midfield.
Yeah,
That's
we
how
got that figured out earlier.
That's how they got the mid part. Jordan in shotgun formation. Talon Beluccio on the carry around the right end for the Polar Bears. Good for you, Talon. Sophomore coming up, getting a little varsity time. I know this because I know Talon. He is a big snowboarder. He spends a lot of time on the mountains. Probably got him ready for this.
Snowboarding?
Oh, he's a big snowboarder. He's all over. He'll go to Colorado. He's been all over the place. 2nd and 8 for the Polar Bears. The Boiling Springs 45-yard line. Izzy again hands off to Beluccio.
Beluccio looks pretty good out there. We knew some of the running backs coming in. We'd have Cruz and some other guys who
33
pick
for the
up.
Polar Bears from the 40-yard line of the Bubblers. I think somebody earlier tonight said running back by committee. A committee is multiple people.
Oh my gosh, I am so glad.
Wagner, Beluccio, Cruz, Mochin. Oh yeah, we got them all. Committee. Jordan on the two-step drop. Oh.
Nice play on defense.
I'm a betting man. I'm saying Jordan's not going to do that many more times. He'll make an adjustment there. Fourth down. Might be in 4-down territory. About 4th and 2. 40-yard line. Looks like Cruz at fullback. Lucio at tailback. Jordan on the keep.
Looks like he picked it up.
Good enough for a Polar Bear first down. They call that RPO, run pass option. Where the R, the P, and the O come from. First down for the Polar Bears. From the
Everybody got that?
36-yard line.
RPO.
I gotta think if you're anywhere, you've got a notebook and you're taking notes on some of this. Jordan under center. Two-step drop. Little pop pass to Bay Blaszak, incomplete.
Jordan did a nice job that time looking off the coverage. A lot of times you see young guys, they look down, stare down their receiver. Looks like he's gotten a little bit better every single year. And moving his eyes, looking around.
Sure. What you don't want a 3-year starter to do is they say when you're a sophomore you play like a senior. When you're a senior you don't want to play like a sophomore. Jordan's got a lot of game experience. Not as good with the mouthpiece, but he's got game experience. Izzy under center. Toss to C.J. Wagner on the left side. You always gotta like when the running back's the one that makes the contact. It's like a third down for the Polar Bears from the 29-yard line. About a 3rd and 4. Izzy under center. Couple step drop. Out in the flats to Mason Young. Mason with a move. Kicks by day, receiver by night. He might even sell popcorn at halftime.
Jordan zipped that ball out there.
Looks like we're 1st and goal. About the 6-yard line. Mason's like, I could go here and get my tea in case we got to do the point after touchdown.
We got to get somebody to carry that boy's tea for him.
He should just tie it to something. Wear it around like we wear our things at school with the badge.
The badge.
Hand off to Blake Cruz.
Can you spell that one?
Mm-hmm. Blake Cruz on the carry. Boy, wouldn't you like to see Blake get a touchdown here?
Oh, we would.
Let's say all that rehab, all that hard work. Here we go.
And he is a nice kid.
2nd and goal for the Polar Bears.
So there's not too many kids in the halls of Northern High School who protect their school like Blake Cruz. He is proud to be a Polar Bear.
Might get ready to do that run pass option here soon. Oh, couple step drop. Out in the flats to Bay Blaszak, incomplete. 3rd and goal for the Polar Bears. Nice when you have a quarterback you know at any time can pull it down and run if he needs to. Jordan, besides being a great football player, a great athlete, I've always wondered when you're playing spy on the quarterback, what do you do if your spy man's not the athlete the quarterback is? So Jordan could take off whenever Jordan needs to take off.
I'm sure we'll see him running a little bit more when we get into the season. So Jordan is an accomplished runner out of the backfield.
Jordan rolling left. Nice.
There it is.
Touchdown to Sean Sarley. Nice catch. Nice roll. Nice pattern. Usually the receiver mirrors the quarterback and gives him that option right there. Everything done well there. And now Mason's on with his tee. Mason Yon to attempt the point after touchdown. How the hold it digs. Nice boot.
Kick is good. Way good.
Many a day I came by the stadium in Mason and his mom and dad out here getting some practice in on the football, getting ready for the season. I always tell people, champions are made in the off season. Afraid they put that time in, it always pays off when they get in season. We'll go back to Bowling Springs on offense and game situation. Springs back in that wing T formation. Inside handoff. Looks like Blake Cruz in on that tackle.
Tough run for the Boiling Springs kid. Bouncing off a few tacklers.
A lot of times when you get that sweep motion going and then you just give that inside handoff, defense is expecting sweep, so that's always a nice little change off the wing T offense. Oh, looks like the ball's on the ground. Looks like Zach Motion came up with it. Looks like a little trouble with the center quarterback exchange on the ground, and Zach Motion comes up with the fumble.
Motion is having himself quite a scrimmage. We expect this to continue in the regular season. He is a man on a mission.
Polar Bears will go on offense. 1st and 10 from the Bowling Springs 31-yard line. Izzy's still under center. Looks like Cruz at fullback, Lucio at tailback. Talon Lucio on the carry. Second 10 for the Polar Bears. Bowling Springs 30-yard line. When we talk about the experience on the offensive line, there's certainly some skilled people getting their first taste of varsity action. Izzy on the roll to the right with the option of running it. There he goes, taking off with it, and he's going to have the whistle blown too. 2 Fridays from now, that whistle won't blow when he turns that corner.
No, he will not. Hoping to see a lot of number 10 back.
3rd and 6 for the Polar Bears. Bowling Springs 27-yard line. Toss to the left to Lucio. Touchdown.
Oh, what a nice run.
In for the Polar Bear. Touchdown.
Nicely
Nice
done.
cut.
Nicely
cut.
done.
Nice knowing when to get the ball upfield. Might have been designed to go outside, but he saw an opening and up he went and into the end zone. Welcome to the varsity ball, Talon Lucio. Mason Yano, 10-point after touchdown.
This offense just seems to look a little more confident each time they've been on the field this evening.
Point after touchdown is good.
Now we're rolling.
Again, when you can have an offensive line with that experience, let the backs and wideouts getting some first cracks at varsity catch up, it could be something that's going to be good when it all comes together this year. So Bowling Springs will go back on offense from the 30-yard line. What do you do after you score a touchdown? You come in and play some defense.
I think Talon needed a breather there. He was out taking a breather, getting a drink. Called back into action.
If you can snowboard, you can play both ways. Quarterback back to pass. Out in the flats, incomplete. Trenton Peach on the coverage for the Polar Bears. 2nd and 10, Bubblers. 30-yard line. Both teams using that flats a lot for trying to get wideouts open. Watch this. Here's the counter crisscross back to the wing back.
Oh, he got away, got loose.
So Diggs runs him out of bound, but when you play against a wing T offense, somewhere they've set you up with that sweep so many times, they come back with handoff to the running back, inside handoff to the wing back, and there they go. 1st and 10, Bubblers, 47-yard line. I'm not sure we'll see many wing T's the rest of the year, but
I don't think so.
it's like every team gets set up for that one all the time, and they just keep flowing to the sweep and then back with the crisscross. Back to pass. Completion.
That was a nice throw and catch by the Bubblers.
Trenton Peach on the coverage for the Polar Bears. That pass covered a lot of yardage. A little outside the 10.
Bubblers quarterback threw that right over his shoulder, dropped it right in.
It's going to be a 1st down for the Bubblers after that long completion. Not sure why the chain guys aren't down if the ball's outside the 10-yard line, but looks like they're making it a 1st and goal. Toss out here to the right. Ball carrier cuts back inside to Zach Mochin on the tackle. Not sure I'd recommend cutting back inside if Zach Mochin's flowing out that way.
You might want to get used to that name.
2nd and goal for the Bubblers from the 8-yard line. Surprised to see maybe that kind of crisscross another time. Little trap action for the Bubblers. Brings up a 3rd and goal. Take the 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Try to get the quarterback outside, give him that option.
I think at this point in time, both coaches want to see a little bit more, but more importantly, they want to get out of here with everybody intact.
Toss left. So they'll bring up a 4th and goal for the Bubblers.
Well, he's got to be close.
One and a half. Always risky down the goal line, pulling that guard for that toss. There we go, 4th and goal.
That ball is just short.
Quarterback keep.
Oh,
Saying he didn't get in.
did not get in.
Polar Bears on the goal line stand.
Nicely done. Like Big Fred was in the middle of that, plugging up the hole.
It's one of those, we got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we stopped, and the bad news is you're starting from the foot line. That was a nice defensive stand by the Polar Bears.
It's good practice for these guys getting backed up.
Yeah, I've done many times in this week's practice, they actually snap the ball where the running backs are standing in 5 yards in the end zone, but I'm sure Coach Miller's got a play for this. You look down your play sheet and say, what do you do when you're 99 yards away? Jordan back to pass. Intended for Tyler Weary, incomplete.
It's a pretty good throw by Jordan. Tyler had to go up for it a little bit. It's good coverage on the play.
There's a good chance Tyler's going to get the ball before the next person when you throw it up like that.
A little frustrated. I think Tyler thinks he should have had that one.
2nd and 10 for the Polar Bears from about the foot line. Always careful down here not to get holdings or penalties in the end zone, become safeties. That'll get them some room. Blake Cruz on the carry. Bring up a 3rd down for the Polar Bears.
Blake busted up in there pretty hard. Looks like he was just trying to get out of the end zone. Nice pickup of 5 or 6.
3rd and 5 from about the 6-yard line. Always good when you don't have to line up in the end zone. Jordan rolls left.
On the run.
Pulls it down. Blows the whistle. Not sure they're going to give him the 1st down.
Again, that they're protecting the quarterback tonight, but on any other night, that's a 1st down for Jordan Heisey.
Looks like the Polar Bears will be in punt formation. Mason Yon back to punt. Mason Yon punts. Mason Yon kicks. Mason Yon receives.
Those Yawns are a talented bunch. Get all those good genes from mom.
Wish there was a thing underneath say who's talking, say no, that wasn't me.
Oh, I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, all kicks and punts will be dead in the scrimmage. Bubblers will have it 1st and 10 from the Polar Bear 40-yard line. You know what the nice thing about a sophomore is? They're no longer a freshman. And you got them for 3 years. Mason's a sophomore. Talon's a sophomore.
I'm proud of you, Mr. Reader, figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
Sophomore comes after freshman.
Mm-hmm.
You moved on from 10 after 9.
I just need to counsel them so I can keep track of that way.
It's impressive.
Sweep to the left for the Bubblers. Looks like Joe Kostelak on that tackle. Pick up the 5 for the Bubblers. 2nd and 5 from the Polar Bear 35-yard line. Yeah, wearing that jacket thing is going to get cold here tonight was a really good idea.
I'm not cold. We Andersons come from a hardy stock.
Trap. Polar Bears are ready for that one. Devin Hacker, Dave Blashak in on that tackle. 3rd and 5. Bubblers from their 35-yard line. I'm sorry, from the Polar Bear 35-yard line.
There we go.
Well, we were way into the night before I made my first mistake.
That was your first mistake? Everybody's listening.
I think asking you to help me was my first mistake. That was my second mistake. Actually, Miller forced me to take you.
I'm very likable.
Quarterback back to pass for the Bubblers. Double coverage.
Wow, that receiver split that coverage. Looked like it might be a pick. He split right between the defenders. Almost came up with it.
Fourth down for the Bubblers. Yeah, I never want to hurt your feelings, but I had about a list of 5, and you weren't on that list. Everybody else is busy.
Everybody listening tonight knows that I was his first choice.
Well, I went for Burrell, and they told me I couldn't have Burrell because his job was to try to count to 10 for
I
the
was going to say, then we would have had 2 guys up here that couldn't count to 10.
have.
Good thing I am here.
Fourth down for the Bubblers.
See if we can hold firm here. Get the ball back on downs.
Short drop. Fade pattern.
Oh, nice coverage. Nice
Tell you what,
coverage.
he had that in until he hit the ground. Nice coverage by Diggs. Polar Bears will take over on downs. Nice pass, nice pattern. Just didn't pull it in once he hit the ground.
Bubblers quarterback throws a nice deep ball. He lays him in.
Yeah, you can tell they've spent a lot of time practicing that fade because they've hit that a few times tonight. First and 10 Polar Bears from their 35-yard line. Said earlier, I believe the Polar Bears in 2 weeks traveled East Pennsboro to break in the turf they put down in the off-season. The Bears got twins left. Toss to CJ to the left. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wasn't a wiggle block.
Thought we didn't get a. I thought we were going to get a flag on that one.
I think real Friday Night Football, that one was coming back. About 2nd and 6 for the Polar Bears from their 38-yard line. Izzy under center, short drop. Tries to pop pass into Joe Kostolak, incomplete. 3rd down for the Polar Bears.
Ozzy's put some balls right on the hands of our tight ends in the middle. They're having a little trouble coming up with it.
I'm not sure those passes last year were to Dave Blashak and Joe Kostolak, but they'll get it.
Yep.
They'll get it.
The ball comes out of Ozzy's arm hot. You got to be ready for it.
So you play tonight, then you got 2 weeks to get ready for opening week. There's never a time on September 11th we haven't had a game yet. Sometimes we're in about week 3 or week 4 by September the 11th. Jordan on about a 4 or 5 step drop. When will they blow the whistle? Fourth down for the Polar Bears. As again, there's no faking punts in the scrimmages, no rushing, no returning the punt. Everybody ready for week 1. Mason Young in punt formation. Some bright shoes by the return man. Mason got some air on that one.
Yes, he did.
Bubblers will go on offense about the 30-yard line.
It's really great to be out here tonight for those kids, but I think today, Patriots Day, September 11th, really puts some things into perspective of just how nice the simple things like a Friday night under the lights really is. So shout out to all of those families who suffered through September 11th, still in our prayers and our thoughts.
Absolutely. They always say, never forget. 19 years ago. Offense for the Bowling Springs from their 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Motion from the receiver. Quarterback back to pass. He'll just take it out of bounds.
It's good penetration by the Bears on that play.
Forced out of bounds by Chase Brown.
Look like we're getting some,
2nd and 14, a loss of 4 on that scramble.
trying to get some other guys some time this evening.
Get Chase Brown, sophomore student.
See some new guys out there. EJ Vale.
I gotta think the only reason Mochin's still out there because nobody has the guts to tell Mochin he's coming out.
Nope.
You might have to send him a text. Mochin needs you out. I would hate to have the job telling Zach Mochin he's got to come out.
Uh-oh. Oh, nice open field
That
tackle.
was nice out there. The receiver had that handoff going around the corner.
Trenton Peach.
That was a nice tackle by Trent in the open field. About 3rd and 7 for the Bubblers from their 33-yard line. Always like we get new players in, how quick they get into the polar bear world and the part of Northern Nation.
I saw Trenton around town with some kids over the summer. They were welcoming him and built some relationships before the school year even got started. Oh.
The luckiest man on the field tonight's that quarterback, because Mochin was in hot pursuit. That kid had to be running thinking, sir, anytime you want to blow that whistle will work for me. Here comes Mochin.
Both Talon and Mochin had that lined up. That one could have been ugly on a regular Friday night.
4th and 11 for the Bubblers. This might be the first time they've punted.
This is the kind of thing I love about our kids. Look at Heisey down there practicing his throws. With a, looks like a young man, 4 or 5 years old. Heisey having a little catch.
Might have had one more on than they were supposed to. Ooh, look out.
Oh, good roll.
Nice roll down to about the 43-yard line. I believe Coach Miller's going to cross field to talk to Coach Zhao and say, Coach, how much longer do we want to do this? They'll have to make that decision because I'm sure both teams could play until midnight. Well, I guess they can't because some of them have junior license, but there's nothing I don't keep track of. I got it all.
Yeah, that mind is a steel trap.
1st and 10 Polar Bears, 43-yard line. Got Lane Hose under center for the Polar Bears?
Looks like it, number 8.
Right there. Center quarterback exchange issues. Be a 2nd down for the Polar Bears.
Looks like we're getting some guys on time, some time on offense like they did on defense, bringing in some reserves to get some playing time. Rarely going to make it through a whole season with everybody intact, so.
Shea McNair on the carry for the Polar Bears. Like 3rd and 8 for the Polar Bears from their 45-yard line. Coach Miller's the play caller, and he was over on the other sideline. I wonder who called that play.
That's a very good question.
You gotta hope not blind.
He doesn't hand over the controls very often, so.
No, he doesn't. Lane on a short drop.
Uh-oh. That one's going the other way,
Intercepted by
folks.
the Bubblers. Looks like that'll be the pick 6 for the Bubblers. You know, Coach Miller's probably saying, I didn't call that play. I was on the
Yeah.
other sideline." That had to be Blather call.
It probably was Blather calling that play. That'll be the last play he calls for a while.
Yeah. It's like you put a kid in charge of the toy store and look what happens. Bubblers will line up for the point after touchdown.
It's like Miller's looking around for who did call it. Everybody's turning their head.
Just thinking, you know what, buddy, I leave you one time and look what happens. After that, he's like, you know, Coach, this can be over at any time. Point after touchdown for the Bubblers. Point after touchdown is good.
Yes, it is. That one just barely snuck in there.
Looks like the Polar Bears are going on defense. A lot of players getting a lot of playing time tonight. Don't forget when they go to get out of that bed tomorrow how long it's been since they've had game action. They
I
might
think
be a
so.
little sore. But they'll be glad they've had this game action. 1st and 10 Bubblers from their 30-yard line. Sweep action for the Bubblers. He may have picked up about 8 or 9 on that carry. Yeah. 2nd and 2 for the Bubblers.
Yeah, I think a lot of the first stringers have seen their nights are over.
Sweep this way for the Bubblers.
Yeah, we
King Kit's on the tackle for the Polar Bears.
saw a lot of the young kids tonight, and they played very well. Whether it was the first couple of series of 10 or even now.
Looks like that carry for the Bubblers was good for a first down. 1st and 10 from their 41-yard line.
Hopefully Polar Bears football has a bright future, if there's any indication tonight.
Back to pass out in the flats. Looks like he pulled that in.
Yes, he did. Very nice catch.
Gain of 9. 2nd and 1 from the 49-yard line. 1 yard away from it.
1 yard away from midfield. 49. 50 minus 49.
Buck sweep to the right. Looks like he was brought down in the backfield.
Bunch of Polar Bears pursued to that ball carrier.
Sam Gunning on that tackle. Loss of a couple, about 3rd and 4.
Big Sam got him. I think Sam Gunning grew about 6 to 8 inches
Yeah, he
over the
did.
summertime.
Yeah, he
I
did.
didn't even know who he was when I walked into the building.
Trap up the middle. Wyatt Hazen on that tackle. Result of the carry will be good for a Boiling Springs first down. 1st and 10 from the Polar Bear 40-yard line. It's always a big deal when one year you're playing 9th grade, the next year you're up playing varsity football. Good stuff. Single backs here. Another Drive right up the middle. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. At the 34-yard line of the Polar Bears. Both teams got to leave here thinking they got a lot in tonight. Got to see a lot of their formations, a lot of their passes. Take the 2 weeks to get ready for opening game. Quarterback waggling to the left. Pass incomplete.
Little mix up on defense there. A lot of open receivers downfield.
3rd down for the Bubblers. Buck sweep left, turns it up inside.
It's a nice hard run by the Boiling Springs back.
John Knoll and Glenn Sadler on that tackle. Carry was good enough for a Bubbler 1st down. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Back up the middle.
Nice tackle.
So Joe McClintock on that tackle. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. 24-yard line for the Bubblers. Just gotta love a team that stays in that wing T no matter where they're at in the field.
They've been in it when they've had their success.
Pass over the middle. Like he's tackled short of the goal line.
Just short.
They've had some success with that tight end pop pass there. Be 1st and goal for the Bubblers. About the 1-yard line.
See,
Touchdown for the Bubblers.
Got it in there.
Ball carrier's not afraid to take the ball right up in there. Bubblers will attempt a point after touchdown. It's a nice strategy not to have your numbers on. If somebody's here scouting you, you wouldn't know who people are if you don't have numbers on.
Every tackler looks the exact same on the Boiling Springs side.
Point after touchdown is good. Looks like we're going to continue to play.
So we're going to get another series in?
The more football, the better. You can never, ever, ever have enough football. Polar Bears will go on offense 1st and 10 from their 30-yard line.
Looks like Timmy Bonnen's going to get another shot.
Bonnen under center. Quick drop.
Ooh, going
Bears
deep.
going out
Oh,
to the
nice.
side.
Oh. Just out of the reach.
That pass was intended for Andrew Gingrich. 2nd and 10, Polar Bears, their 30-yard line. Not afraid to air it out.
That seems to be the go-to for Bonnen. He likes that. Likes putting it up.
Toss right. Tate McNair on the carry for the Polar Bears.
It's a nice job by Tate just to get a yard out of that. Looked like he was going to get caught in the backfield. Made something out of nothing.
Third and 9 Polar Bears from the 32-yard line. Something out of nothing. Words to live by. Something out of nothing.
That's kind of your story, isn't it, Reader? Something out of nothing.
Something better than nothing. Timmy Bonnet rolling left. Gonna pull it down till they blow the whistle.
I don't think you got to. Coaches, Northern coaches lobbying for a first down, but I think the whistle blew just short.
About 4th and 3 for the Polar Bears. Decision time. You can't make many wrong calls in a scrimmage. And if you do, there's not a crowd here to tell you made a wrong decision. It's kind of like if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there, does the tree
jeez.
It's late in the night. This is now a half an hour past my
We
bed.
promise, ladies and gentlemen, I'll get Mr. Reader to study some new material before.
Timmy in a short
weeks.
drop. Pass complete to Mason Young. Will it be enough for a first down?
Looks like it will.
Enough for a first down for the Polar Bears. 1st and 10. From their 42-yard line. He hit that one hard.
Yes, he did. He got up in that hole quick.
Carries good for a Polar Bear first down. 1st and 10 from the Bubbler 40-yard line. That is how you hit the hole.
There's another young man on this team. And maybe a little smaller in stature, but he has no fear whatsoever. Slams into the hole.
Something you can relate to?
Huh.
Tate again on the carry. A gain of 6, about 2nd and 4. The 34-yard line of the Bubblers. Tate on the 3rd time. That might be enough for a Polar Bear first down.
He is an aggressive runner. Glad Tate's getting some carries.
1st and 10 Polar Bears. 33-yard line. I tell you, 20 practices in a week. Both teams are getting in and out of the huddle real quick. There's just something about game situation gets people revved up. Andrew Hackard on the carry for the Polar Bears.
It's another nice little run. The offensive line right now is creating some gaps.
Second down from about the 23-yard line. A long time since lights have been on at Bostic Field.
Oh, the new lights.
Jimmy Bonnet on a short drop, out to the flats.
Got
Complete to
the,
Andrew Gingrich.
got the lights replaced at Bostic Stadium. Clear and bright this evening.
1st and 10 for the Polar Bears. 16-yard line, nice little pass out in the flats. Joe McClintock on that carry. Gain of about 2. 2nd down from the 15-yard line. Timmy on a quick drop. Blow the whistles before he gets taken down. Third down for the Polar Bears. Might have lost a couple there. 3rd and 12. Back to the 19-yard line. Yeah, you got to think Polar Bears are in 4-down territory unless they try a little field goal. Twins to the right. Timmy Bonn's pass.
Oh!
Just out of the reach of Diggs. 4th down, Polar Bears. Decision time for Coach Miller.
It's nice to have Mason John as a weapon during the season in these situations. Watch him over the summer. Hitting from 40 plus. A couple from 50. It's a nice weapon to have in high school.
Just not going to use my weapon this time. We're going to hold that for 2 minutes. 4th down, Polar Bears. Timmy on a straight drop. Pass intended for Gingrich, incomplete. Looks like that'll be the last play. Both teams showed well tonight. Came in and competed. Definitely appreciated the efforts by both teams, and I'm sure they were just glad to be out here.
We want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Know that we'll be live streaming games throughout the season. Mr. Reeder and I thought this was going to be a dry run tonight. We got thrown into this live. We promise we'll practice up and do the best we can throughout the season.
Yeah, we'll let you decide how dry the dry run really was.
Have a good night.